What up, everybody? Reggie here. I wanted to thank everybody for all the support, all the encouragement that I received from my last video last week as I'm starting this Reggie Beats Lupus YouTube page and TikTok. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button or follow me on TikTok, Reggie Beats Lupus. And so I just want to thank everybody for sharing the video, for commenting on the video, for liking the video. Even got messages, text messages. I had even one message with various remedies I may want to consider as well. So I thank you for all the support, all the encouragement. It's greatly appreciated. Now, one thing after last week's video, somebody may have been asking, well, what exactly is lupus? Well, I'll tell you. Lupus is a autoimmune disease, and it's one in which the body attacks, the immune system attacks, healthy tissues and organs, causing damage, causing inflammation, causing infections, and things of that nature. It's like the body attacks itself, right? The body attacks itself. There's no cure for lupus right now, no cure for lupus, but it is treatable. Matter of fact, I think it's beatable. That's why my page is called Reggie Beats Lupus. But it is a fight. It is a battle. You definitely need God on your side. And some praying people around you. But it is beatable. At least I believe it is beatable. It is beatable. A lot of people do have various sufferings when it comes to lupus. Lupus doesn't look the same in everybody. So the way lupus shows up in me could be completely different than the way it shows up in somebody else, right? So there's no one particular way to go about treating lupus. That's why it's one of the, it's a hard chronic disease to treat, because there's so many different variables. It impacts, your organs like your kidneys and your lungs, even your brain, your skin, all of those things, blood vessels. It can have an impact on any such thing in which it decides to turn on. And so, you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, that you are keeping up with your doctor visits. You want to try to eat right, get good rest, all those types of things. Now, I struggle with the eating right sometimes. I have to admit, I do struggle with the eating right. But all those things are involved. Now, some of you may be wanting to know, what's your story, Reg? What's your story? Well, my story goes all the way back to high school. I had some symptoms even way back in high school. Had no idea it pertained to lupus, but I've had symptoms way back in high school. I've had the joint swelling and pain, my wrist, my elbows, knees, ankles would swell up, and it would hurt. Sometimes it would hurt to the point where I couldn't really walk or I couldn't move. I had extreme fatigue. I used to get these massive headaches that I chalked them up to as migraines. So I thought, I had migraines, a migraine issue. Come to find out that, it was lupus related. Those headaches were lupus related. And one other thing that I had, which was all through high school and through college, all the way up even to now, was I had a problem with cold weather. And I would get what they call Raynaud's syndrome or Raynaud's phenomenon. And that's where at a certain temperature, your blood vessels, your small blood vessels in your like your fingers and toes, they would spasm, causing the blood not to get through, and it's extremely painful, right? So I have a problem with the cold. That's why you don't see me much when it's cold outside. And so I was experiencing all of these things, which are various symptoms of lupus. The way I was finally actually diagnosed was in 2000, in the year 2000, where I had what is known as pericarditis, and that is an inflammation of the pericardium, which is the sac that holds your heart. And so my pericardium was inflamed. It was inflamed. So every time I moved, whether I moved this way or moved that way, right, your inside shift. And so my heart would touch that pericardium, and it would burn like it was some of the worst pain ever. Um, and that was in June of 2000. By September of 2000, I was diagnosed with lupus. I was told many things when it comes to lupus. Lupus is not a it's it's a disease that's approximately about 80-85% women, right? So there's a small percentage of men. And at that time in 2000, the prognosis for men wasn't very good because men wouldn't take care of themselves. They wouldn't go to the doctor. They wouldn't follow up. They wouldn't take the medicine. They would just, the lifestyle would not be conducive to being successful with lupus. I was even told that 5 years. They gave me like 5 years, and so this is one of the reasons why I say I beat it is because after the 5 years was up 20 years ago, you know, I figure every year is a win. Every year is a win. And so I've done various things. I've had doctors tell me I'd never play basketball or sport again. However, I have been able to play basketball with my three sons. I've been able to win gold medals in the martial arts in which I practice. And all of this since being diagnosed with lupus, since being told you would never do X, Y, and Z. I've had lupus impact me, you know, definitely physically impact my veins and arteries, joints, of the lungs and the heart, and the brain. But I'm still swinging. I'm still fighting. There is no giving up. There is no giving up. And so I'm beating this thing. I am beating this thing. And so once again, I just want to thank you all for the support, for jumping on. Again, this page will have, I'll give various methods, various things we can do to battle symptoms and things like that. Have some education pieces where we'll talk to various doctors and other lupus warriors and even allies. So we thank you. I thank you for your continued support. And let's go beat this thing. All right. Peace.